leaned against, but I will ask the guy, do you have an issue with this?
Well, so here's
the wise minds in Vegas. So whenever the wise minds in Vegas say the Chiefs are going to win, he's like, oh, maybe Wilds, you know more than Vegas. But when the wise minds in Vegas said the Patriots,
I disagree with Vegas all the time, and I haven't appealed to Vegas's authority in years because you bring it up all the time because then I'm boxed into where I must always agree with the odds, and I don't always agree with the odds. So I'll tell you, I'll give you, I think, a fair and sober reading of how I think the Patriots season's going to go. You do the same, and then Brew tells us who's going to be right. Since Brew can see all when it comes to the NFL, as evidenced by the Purdy contract. I think this is fair. Throw up my Patriots season prediction, if you would. I think they go 7-10. And I think that's awesome. So I think the opening 2 weeks they lose. I think they win at home against the Steelers and the Panthers. They win in New Orleans. They win at Tennessee. They beat the Jets in New England. I think after their bye is brutal, except for Week 18 against the Dolphins in the cold, which I'm going to go ahead and say the Patriots are going to win that game. So I think 7 wins, big coaching upgrade. Drake may jump in year 2. That's almost double their wins from last year. I think that would be a good season. I think that would be a positive step and give you real reason to think in 2026 they could be a playoff team. That's what I see.
Let me flip. I'm trying to see where our big differentiators are.
Well, let's see. How many wins do you have them having?
I have us at 10 wins.
10 wins.
All right, so favored in 11. So here we go. Throw mine up. We're favored in this opening game against the Raiders.
So I see our 3 differences.
So I have the Dolphins. I'll just go through. I got the Dolphins. Loss in Miami. We've lost our last 4 in Miami. Win Steelers, win Panthers, lose to the Bills, normal. Saints aren't trying to win. Win at Tennessee, do you have that as a loss?
No, I have the 3 wins you have as losses are the Raiders, or the Browns, and you have them sweeping the Jets. I don't have them sweeping the Jets.
Oh, that's not that far off. We both have the Falcons loss. It's just a random home.
Yeah, we both have them losing.
But there's
every
a
good
big
team.
difference between 7 and 10 and 10 and 7.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas has us at 11.
No, Vegas doesn't. Vegas has you guys at 8.5.
It does?
Yeah.
How many games are they favored in?
They're favored in 11, but that's not what your guys. If you're gonna say what Vegas has,
they
Vegas
got Buffalo at 17-0.
You're favored
to win how many games out of the schedule?
You are favored in 11 games.
Okay.
You are predicted to win 8.5 games.
So we're predicted to lose some of the games we're favored?
Yes.
How does that work for Vegas?
Well, we can go to a local Marriott and do it to one of the gambling consortiums over the weekend. But that is the correct analysis, just so you know. I promise you.
So we're favored to win 11 games.
No, you are favored in 11 games.
So if you
are projected to win 8.5. Can Brew answer the question?
But if you're favored to win, if you're favored in a game,
the Bills are favored in all 17 games. They are not projected to go 17-0. That's not what it is.
Sounds like what it is.
Okay. Vegas is confused, it sounds.
No, Vegas isn't confused. That's how it is for all these teams. But Brew,
we favored you in 11, but you're only going to win 8.
Because they don't think that you're going to win all the games you're favored in, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I, not surprisingly, am somewhere in the middle of you guys.
Well,
no,
you
have them right at 8.5 like Vegas.
I'm closer to Nick in that I say 8 and 9.
You'll take that, Wilds. You will.
Or no, I'm closer to you. I
guess. 8 and 9 is closer to me. I have 7 wins. He has 10 wins.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had 7. You had 10.
Yeah. You'll.
Okay, it goes into commercial now. Guys, just because you're favored in those games doesn't mean that you're expected to win those games. Even Vegas understands that you're not going to win all the games that you're favored. Let's go at Nick's win-loss thing. I mean, the Dolphins could absolutely just unravel. I don't really know what they got going on there. I have no faith in the Dolphins, quite frankly. The Browns, you're going to lose to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I don't see that either. And then the Jets, I could see them absolutely sweeping the Jets as well. So that could be 10 games right there. I mean, honestly, technically the trickiest games from my viewpoint are going to be, in terms of trying to predict, are the Raiders, Dolphins, mainly because it's obviously divisional and you play them twice. And I guess that's kind of it. I mean, like, if I was being really flexible with this. I would say the Browns just because, like, who the heck is the quarterback? What's the story here? I think the Browns want to lose. They want to draft a quarterback next round by all reports. And then again, I guess technically the Jets, because I do think that defense should be better this time around, but I don't trust anything with Justin Fields, not for a second. Not even for a second. I'd feel a little bit, I feel like it would be an easier win, like a definitely bona fide easier win earlier in the season, but obviously it's a little bit later in the season. Kind of same thing even with the Dolphins if it's actually later in the season, just because we know they're at the mercy, unfortunately, of getting banged up and injured. But I mean, listen, we know these schedules never unfold exactly how we think. I mean, that's why I think 8.5 really is the perfect over under, because I don't see this team surprising us and winning 13 games. So I feel like if you believe that this team is going to be a good team, they're going to be between 9 and 10 games, because again, the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles, I think I did when I did this before, like all the top teams, all the division winners, they're all predicted to win around 11 games. So you can't just now say, oh yeah, and the Patriots are there too. Like they're on par with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens and the Eagles. It's like, that doesn't really make sense. So that's why between like 8 to 10 range, which is where you get at like the 8.5 over under, like it makes perfect sense. And when you look at the schedule, you're like, yeah, I think they should beat the Steelers, the Panthers, the Jets, etc., the Titans. And then you get into this like trickier ground where it's like, well, how good are the Raiders going to be, especially in week 1? Will the Dolphins and Tua be significantly better this time around? Like, they were pretty good last year with Tua. When they didn't have Tua, they were awful. Tua keeps getting injured. It's really hard to ever figure out what the heck is this Dolphins team, but like no one really believes that they're going to be a great team. Therefore, hey, the Patriots should win. The Jets, Justin Fields, new coaching staff. It's the Jets. Do we really believe in the Jets of all time? Like, no. But then you get to look at some of these other interesting games, like against the Bills, obviously, against the Bucks, against the Bengals. You're just kind of like, do the Patriots pull off some of these wins? We know these teams always somehow manage. Like, even, I think it's fair to say that the Bills are going to be better than the Patriots. Sorry, Patriots fans. I think it's fair to say that the Ravens will be better than the Patriots. But I think, like, we know some of these games are always so interesting, right? Do they split with the Bills? Do they beat the Ravens in a random Week 16 game? Like, where on this schedule do they get a win where you're like, whoa, the Patriots beat so-and-so? Like, it happens every year. Every year it happens to a team. The Falcons, who were not good, beat the Eagles last year. The Texans, who were nowhere near on the level of the Bills, beat the Bills. The Raiders beat the Ravens. The Raiders would have also beat the Chiefs if they didn't, they fumbled a snap in the final seconds of the game. Like, so it's like those games are always there. The Browns beat the Ravens. So it's just kind of like, are the Patriots able to beat a team like the Bengals and the Bills, and then boom, now they won 10 games and they're in the wild card. Like, I can see that happening. But also a lot of times you win a game that you probably shouldn't have lost, or that you shouldn't have, but then you also lose a game that you shouldn't have, right? The Steelers start off 0-2 or something, and they're just really not a good team, and then they beat you, and you're just like, oh, dude, the Steelers look awful. How did Mason Rudolph threw for 4 touchdowns against you? Like, are you serious, right? Like, we always know those games happen as well. Or like the New York Giants, it's Russell Wilson goes down and Jameis Winston plays, and he goes off for like 450 yards and 5 touchdowns, and you're just like, okay, that was he threw for 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Like, what? I guess that's a Jameis Winston game for sure. But yeah, I mean, being favored to win 11 games is cool. I remember last year I was like, I don't think the Patriots are going to be good. I'm sorry. This is going to take this is going to take a minute. I said year 2 with Drake May. I think this team will be significantly better. And again, Patriots fans were not happy with that take. I understand why. But now, a year later, literally exactly a year later, it'd be funny to look up when I made that one video about them. It's like, here we are. They're favored in 11 games this season. That's legit, man. That's legit. This team has gone full circle. And I think with Vrabel and Drake May, I think they had an awesome draft, an awesome offseason. I'm fascinated to see how quickly this team can gain some momentum. And I'm fascinated to see some of these more in-betweener teams like the Falcons, like the Bucks, where you're kind of like, okay, these teams can be pretty good. They can make some noise, especially the Bucks, who obviously have a more proven track record recently than the Falcons. I'm curious to see how the Patriots look next to them, right? Like, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see, like, do they surpass the Dolphins? The Dolphins, again, they've had a weird, 3-4 years or however many years with Tua where you're kind of like, they're kind of good, they're kind of not. They have an awesome offense, but then, like, they kind of drop the ball. Like, it's been tough, especially with Tua in and out of the lineup, but, like, do the Patriots leapfrog them? The Raiders, like I said, I think that's a whole revamped team, so they're, like, almost impossible to really predict with any degree of reliability. New quarterback, new coaching staff, new beast of a running back, like, but, like, I'm curious to see. And then when they play, like, the real bona fide established teams, really the only two teams that you really are playing this season that are truly established are obviously the Bills twice and the Ravens. I mean, maybe the Bengals, but you can't really say that considering their history. So it's really just the Bills, Ravens. And I'm fascinated to see how they play against one another. The Bills were going to be a little bit different because it is a divisional game. The Ravens will be a fascinating barometer, but it'll be interesting to see what those games, week 16, you're starting in that final stretch now where everyone's really starting to think about playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of, what's at stake for both the Patriots and the Ravens. Not to mention you're going to play the Bills and then the Ravens. Like, that's not easy by no means. You are coming off a bye, but still, and you do have a late bye. So late buys can kind of affect you, not even just from a fatigue standpoint, but as well as just being able to kind of do your own internal audit to kind of figure out, hey, what do we need to do to improve? Where are we lacking at? What are we doing well? Et cetera, et cetera. So this is going to be a fun team to try to figure out who they are. Now I'm looking at the schedule and I see a lot of games that they can legitimately win, and they have a few of these feel around games, and I'm just kind of like, all right, like you beat the Steelers, you beat the Panthers, you beat the Dolphins, you beat the Saints, you keep beating all the teams that you're supposed to beat, and now the Falcons have a little bit of momentum. They're 8-1 or something, 7-3, I don't know, 6-3. They're a pretty decent team, looking pretty good. What do the Patriots do in that situation? All right, now they're playing the Bucks. The Bucks are real feisty, and Baker Mayfield's playing great. Nick Wright has Baker as the top 5 quarterback on his Mahomes Mountain or whatever nonsense it is, and it's like, all right, what does his defense do against this team, right? They have some momentum. Like, okay, Jets, big divisional game. You want to make sure that you beat, that you want to win both of them. Justin Fields is looking pretty good, not amazing, but better than he's looked in the past, right? Like, there's just some really interesting games that I think can really give you a good feeling of like, all right, where are we at in year 2 with Drake May? Where are we at with year 1 with Drake May and Vrabel, right? I feel like this is officially like the reset year, right? It's like tomorrow starts today with the New England Patriots. It's like, I don't care what happened over the last however many years with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. When they left, like it's over, it's done. It's in the past, unfortunately, for everyone. But it's just like, here we are, year 1, day 1, week 1, season 1. What do we got? I think it's a great season. I think at the end of this season, you're going to really deeply understand who this Patriots team are, right? How good are they? How average are they? How great are they? How bad are they? What choices need to be made? There's going to be no confusion. You have enough kind of average to good teams where you will know, yeah, we're average. No, we're good. Like, we got that. Yeah, you know what? When we play a couple of those other great teams, yeah, they're better than us. The Bills are clearly a step above us. But we know what we got to do now. We know where we got to go. Wow, we held our own with the Ravens. We are a lot better than we think of. Like, we just need another, this or that, and we're competing for an AFC championship next season, right? Like, you're going to be able to know where you're at. And it's a great place to be in. Last season, you couldn't do any of that. It was such a mess, coaching, team. Drake May's playing, Drake May's not playing. Like, you're just kind of like, what do I do here? It's also tough when you don't trust the coaching staff. You're like, what's this roster look like? What are the decisions we're making? It's like, how do you evaluate who the heck they were, right? It becomes pretty difficult, and you need to be able to evaluate who you are so you know which direction you're going into, so you know what decisions you're making. So I'm excited for the year 1 New England Patriots. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Patriots? Are you buying the Patriots hype? Do you believe Wilds, or do you believe Nick, or do you believe in Brew that they're either going to win 7, 8, or 10 wins? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.